This video is my answer to the question, is Monster Hunter Generations worth playing? One of the most significant games within the franchise, GU as I'll call it from now on, stands as the final culmination of all the previous Monster Hunter generations combined into one massive package. GU acts as a greatest hits album, showcasing all of the best that the Monster Hunter franchise has to offer. It also boasts the biggest monster roster in any of the games, with 93 large monsters, the most weapons, armors and items to collect and craft. Monster Hunter GU is not the candy shop, it's the whole damn candy factory. If you love Monster Hunter, or are considering playing the older games but you want a taste of what the experience will be like, then this video is for you. Like most newer players, I was introduced to Monster Hunter via the 5th generation of the franchise, namely Monster Hunter World. Before that, I've never experienced the game loop of hunt, loot and craft at such a scale. The day I beat my first Great Jagras and crafted a greatsword from its parts was the day I knew I was hooked. Nothing I've played till that day gave me such a large sense of accomplishment and excitement. I would liken this feeling to the first time I played Dark Souls. Nothing could beat the feeling of trading boss souls for unique weapons. That's when I found a franchise that basically revolves solely around that principle. I've never done crack before, but I can only assume it's the same feeling you get after defeating a huge beast, carving up its parts and then heading to the blacksmith to see if you can craft that sweet new weapon that gives you a power boost. A lot of people who never played any of the Souls games were introduced to the franchise with the mainstream success of Elden Ring. This prompted many to go back and explore the previous Souls games. Those games are timeless. So being someone who only played World at the time, I wanted to go back and experience the previous games for myself. Unlike Dark Souls though, Monster Hunter has way more games spanning all the way back to the PS2 era. So I kind of got analysis paralysis. Which one do I play? Do I go back and start the first gen? Do I try the portable one first? Which one would be the most accessible for me to play, I asked. So many questions I couldn't answer, but finally after testing some of the older games, I just decided that I would eventually play them all. So I asked myself, what would be the best older generations game to play that would not scare me off with any overly complex systems and outdated graphics, but still give me the accessibility and the ease of access of the 5th generation. I said screw it, and I decided on Generations Ultimate. I wanted to ease into the older titles as not to scare myself off. If I chose something like Freedom Unite, you can bet your ass I would have ran back to World like the conditioned lab rat that I've become. It's safe to say that I made the right choice by going with GU instead. It's perfect for a newbie to the series like myself to enjoy. There is somewhat of a debate online about this very topic. Some of the veteran players say the best version to play is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, because that's when they added the Charge Blade, and they also argue that GU suffers from monster and quest bloat. I've spent enough time with GU to agree with that to some degree. It does suffer from that if you are looking for a leaner experience. More doesn't always equal better. But that argument is subjective, and my take on it is that if you are looking to get the most value out of your money, then GU would be the obvious choice. I want to talk about some of the features that moved the needle forward in the franchise that's in this game. Hunter styles alter the way you use weapons. For example, if you take aerial style and use a greatsword, you don't charge up your greatsword on the ground anymore. You launch yourself off the ground and you charge your blade in the air before landing a devastating blow. Each style changes the strategy you use for your weapon of choice. This opens up not only replayability, but also insane levels of depth to the gameplay. Imagine you're at a gun range, pointing your pistol at a target. If you move your aim slightly to the left or the right, it doesn't affect your shot much if the target is right up close to you. But if the target is all the way down the range, A slight variation in your aim can drastically change where your shots land. This is how I feel about hunter styles. Up close, at face value, the small changes don't seem to affect the game much. But if you spend time with a new system and take a step back and look at the whole picture, it drastically changes the gameplay, and I'm all here for it. I spent over 200 hours using the Valor style for my greatsword, and let me tell you, I've had a hard time going back to normal style in other Monster Hunter games. Instead of trying to avoid monster attacks, I let them hit me while I have Valor mode active. This lets me tank the attack and it auto sheathes my weapon while filling my Valor gauge. And when it's full, I unleash devastating attacks that crush any foe who dare to stand before me. The next awesome feature from GU is Hunter Arts. If you have ever played Sunbreak, then you know what these are. They are special attacks that you can use in combat that have various levels of cooldowns depending on the art itself. I used this art called Brimstone Slash that fully blocks a monster attack and retaliates with a devastating counter strike, but it has a long cooldown. So when I waste it in combat, I feel the weight of my mistake. These arts were so popular that they brought them back in Sunbreak. They are tons of fun, and once again they add a layer of complexity that anyone can understand. In GU, you can actually create builds now, mixing not only weapons and armors but also planning which style and arts you would prefer to use for a specific beast. The Palicos are back, and you can recruit many different types like healers or trappers. You can train them and give them spells. You can even set their AI to target large or small monsters specifically. The smaller monsters that attack you while you're trying to fight a large one gets annoying fast, especially with my build, because if a small monster attacks me while I use Valor mode or certain arts, they trigger the effect that I was trying to get the large monster to do. So my Palicos are geared towards fighting the smaller monsters in the arena while I focus solely on the large monsters in the hunt. I also like to give them healing skills so that they can heal me in a fight, and occasionally it comes in clutch because it gets me to tank that one shot that would have killed me and ended my run. Oh, speaking about hunts, this game has insane levels of content. For context, I reached the start of G rank quests after 200 hours of questing in low and high rank. G rank is just master rank of the newer titles, FYI. And I basically skipped most side quests and I just focused on ranking up to reach G rank. This game was made for handheld, and it can be felt by the sheer amount of content it has. This is one of those games where you could literally play for months and never finish it, if you just played on commutes to work or something like that. Now, I didn't play it on handheld, I played it on PC, and good lord, the sheer amount of content this game has blows away any of the newer titles right out of the water. This can be a double-edged sword though. The one edge, you enjoy huge amounts of content and you want to play this game for months or years. And the other edge, you want your game to have a more reasonable amount of content because you have other commitments or games that you want to enjoy. Let me promise you one thing though, you will absolutely get value for your money and time if you play this game. And this is because GU has the biggest roster of large monsters in any of the monster hunting games. Monster Hunter World with Iceborne DLC had a total of 71 large monsters, while GU has 93. You're going to find more unique monsters in this game than ever before, and that also includes what the game calls deviants, which are reskins and monsters with special abilities. Some quality of life features from the newer titles are missing though, like you can't move and sip potions, so you have to be extremely careful when you drink because it locks you in an animation, leaving you vulnerable. And the most important quality of life feature is the one that tells you which quests you have to do to progress the main story to level up your rank. If you don't have the wiki open telling you which quests to do to further your rank, you're gonna end up doing hundreds of hours of content while staying on the same rank, which in my expert monster slaying opinion is a bad idea. It's obvious why they changed it in the newer games. It's so convoluted. Let's say for example you want to rank up. You have to do 6 specific hunts in order to unlock the hunt that will rank you up. Okay, let's say that you do the hunt and you rank up. Now in order to rank up again, you have to do specific hunts in order to progress. But this time, if you didn't do a previous rank side quest, it won't unlock the new quest in your current rank, soft locking you until you loop all the way back to your previous quest chain and you start progressing that in order to unlock the latest quest in that chain. Confused? Yeah, me too. Instead of having all quests separate entities, so to speak, most of them are a part of a chain where you have to progress the chain to unlock the higher ranks. So if you forget one quest in your chain, you're fucked. And you better have that wiki open to figure out which one it is. Bro, this drove me insane to the point I have an app installed on my iPhone which tells me which quests to do in order to unlock the next rank. The questing system in this game pissed me off so much I would have easily given it a 0 out of 10. The main reason why I would do that is because I had to rely on outside information to progress. And then guess what? Sometimes, just sometimes, the wiki is missing the quest I need to progress. So now I have to go on a Google search all around the fucking internet just to find that one missing quest that the wiki didn't tell me about. I'm getting annoyed just talking about this. This bullshit I went through just to reach G rank was enough for me to delete the game forever and never touch it again if I wasn't doing a review on it. I just want you to be aware of what you're going to get yourself into if you decide to play this game. This is maybe why people choose to play Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate instead of GU. The armor and weapons grind in this game is also the highest I've ever seen in a Monster Hunter game. The devs just assume I have years of my life to grind the same monster over and over for that one piece of a top left butt cheek scale from a monster that 99% of the time doesn't drop anything. I'm being hyperbolic, but you get what I'm saying. And no, I'm used to actually grinding in these games. Most of the time you'll find me in the guiding lands in world, trying to farm that one epic rare gem that's gonna give me that 0.001% power boost so I can kill Fatalis like 0.001 seconds faster. Like I said earlier, this game is a portable Monster Hunter game, through and through. Monster Hunter GU is definitely a product of its time, and that's okay. If I was a die-hard Monster Hunter fan who only played this series, holy shit, GU would be God's gift to humanity. But I'm not. Most of the time I have now I spend playing games that I'm gonna make content on. If I was a retired 70-year-old man and I could easily spend the last 15 years of my life playing GU, I would not even be finishing it, not even close. Anyway, let me end on a positive note by talking about the monsters. Yes, earlier I said this game has 93 large monsters, and guess what? They all feel and look unique. Each monster has its unique AI that breathes life into it. Every time I've mastered fighting one monster, I get ground pounded by the next one. I have to hand it to the devs though, they went all out on creating fun, engaging fights that feel epic in scale, rather than a mindless grind with monsters that just do the same attacks over and over. And I swear sometimes these monsters are cheating, because when I sip a drink, these motherfuckers lunge at me. Maybe I'm just coping, but man, I'm not gonna lie to you, the only reason I kept pushing through this game is because of how cool the monster fights are. There's this one large monster called Najarala. It's like part snake and dragon, and it kept trying to wrap itself around me, keeping me trapped on the inside so I couldn't run away while it was trying to attack me. But too bad for him, because my greatsword is strong enough to break through its scales, so joke's on him. But imagine you were playing a bow hunter, you would be totally screwed. One of the coolest fights I've had in a long time was with Gormagala. The design of this monster is amazing. The wings act as a second pair of claws, so you fight this beast with 4 claws while it's shooting dark energy balls at you. It's so trippy, I love it. And the first time I fought a Nagakuga, man, I loved it. It was so aggressive in its attacks. It would whip my ass like it was nothing, just bam, 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 left and right, whipping my ass. I have so much footage fighting different monsters, I could easily spend hours talking about all of them. But at the end of the day, Monster Hunter games are all about the hunts. The moment-to-moment gameplay of getting your ass kicked by a Malfestio as it twists its head like it came straight out of an Exorcist movie is what makes Monster Hunter great. I would definitely recommend this game to anybody who wants more Hunter Munter in their life. Anyway, I also forced myself to play Diablo 1 to find out if it's worth playing or not. You can watch that video here by clicking on the screen. I'll see you there.